7 years later, here we are. I'm lost for words, but not in a good way. So, I stayed up till 1 in the morning last night to watch the live stream of the end game of Pretty Little Liars. I've sat and wrote down like a spider diagram of like everything that I want to talk about for this finale review, and let's just say it's not going to be the most happiest thing on the planet. Now, I've watched this show since it started. I think it was during, like, just after Mona's reveal in season 2 that I kind of got bored of the show and didn't go back to it until Ezra's reveal of his, well, A at the time, but he was actually writing a book. We'll come back to that later as well. And then I started watching it again and I got really hooked again and I just fell in love with it again, and I feel like the show was so good up until season 5 with the dollhouse episodes even, because there was 2 of them. They were the best and I think nothing could ever top them, and nothing did. The last 2 seasons have been not great and I do feel as if I've wasted a lot of time on this show, but is that way where you've watched it for so long that you don't want to not watch it because out of loyalty and out of wanting to know the mystery that has been surrounding this TV show for 7 years, you want to know what the end is. And I've got a lot of mixed feelings about it. Some good feelings about the finale actually, surprisingly, but I do have a lot of questions and concerns, and I am genuinely gutted and, if I'm honest, and a bit disappointed, but I think it's just that way where it's time to close a chapter on it, but I want to get my vent out and just talk about it. I've got my little spider diagram of the episode in general. I've got a list of my 5 suspects that I had for AD, and I've got a list of unanswered questions that we don't have. The list for the unanswered questions is quite long. I feel like I don't want to make this episode worse for people who didn't like it like I didn't. I just need to talk about it because I need to get it out of my system, and once I get it out of my system I can move on. So hopefully this might be a bit of closure for some people as well who feel the same way as I do. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way about this episode or the last 2 seasons in general. I know so many other people were venting their frustrations at it, and it's kind of refreshing to see that I'm not the only one that feels this way, so I don't feel half as bad about the things I'm going to say about it. So yeah, right, so again, this is my opinion. I don't care if you don't agree. I have a lot of opinions on this TV show. I have really strong opinions about it, and yeah, so yeah, I'm going to get started. So I'm going to start with the ships because I could not care less about the ships. Insert clip now of me watching this live. Ships. Give us a shit.
Oh, got it.
So you see, the first hour was pretty much just romance. The show was ruined by the ships. The show used to be about mystery, it used to be about murders, all that kind of thing. It used to be so good, so good. But because everyone is so hooked on Caleb and Spoby and is it Ezra or something like that, the show got ruined because everyone just expects these couples to be together, and it just ruined it. I couldn't care less about the ships. I actually just don't care. I cared about the mystery, I cared about who A was and the motive and all that. The only couple who I actually think deserved to be together was Emerson, because it was a long time coming and they did deserve it. So Spoby, what can you say? Like, we know that Alex Drake is AD, right? And so she was manipulating Toby to think he was Spencer, or she was Spencer. Toby has a past of being abused by Jenna, and this time around he was abused again by Alex. I didn't like that. Well, that's not fair to make Toby go through all that again. That's just not fair. I hated it. And obviously you don't really know what happens with them at the end anyway. I did like them as a couple to begin with. Lost interest because I just thought the ships were just too much. I just hate them. Caleb I thought it was really cute that they ended up getting pregnant at the end, but again, I don't care about the relationship. I don't want to see it. I just want to see the mystery. Arya and Ezra, I felt really sad for Arya when she said she couldn't have kids. That was genuinely heartbreaking. I just felt so bad for her. It was such a shame. In the books, Ezra was arrested, and that's probably what should have happened in the TV show, but again, because the ships wanted them to be together, they ended up together, which again I think ruined what the show used to be, so I don't like it at all. As cute as the wedding may have been, I was kind of low-key hoping that something was going to happen at their wedding at the end, like someone was going to die or something, but that wasn't going to happen. Emma and Cinder are the only couple that I want to talk about that I actually like. I feel like it's been a long time coming for them to be together. I'm so happy that they ended up engaged, even though, like, you know, AD manipulated them into being together and all that horrible way. I'm so glad they ended up together finally, and I'm glad they got engaged. Their twins are so cute, but I don't understand how they have blonde haired blue-eyed twins when Emily is the mum and Wren is the dad. How does that make sense? They don't look like they belong to them, like, as parents. So yeah, we'll come back to Wren later because he's my number one. But yeah, I'm really glad that they ended up together. I love that they both work at the school. I love that Ali still has that little bit of bitchiness in her when she's talking to Addison, and even when she's talking about Jenna, how she still creeps her out and all that. I love that. Ali's one of my absolute favourite characters. Bitchy Ali is anyway. Oh my gosh, I've written so much, it's hard to know where I'm going to go. Right, I'm going to go straight to Alex, right? So, Alex is Alex Drake, who is Spencer's twin, and Mary Drake's daughter, obviously, and CeCe's sister. So, we have Alex and CeCe met because of Wren. Wren arranged for Alex and CeCe to meet when CeCe got off the plane, and I knew, this is the only thing I knew for a fact, back when CeCe left to go to Paris, I knew she was meeting someone when she got off that plane. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. The only thing that I was so sure of, and I was right, that she was meeting someone. Didn't know it was going to be a twin, didn't know it was going to be a sister or whatever, I just didn't know who she was meeting, but I knew she was meeting somebody, and I'm really proud that I actually had that one thing right, so at least that's something. And we have, like, Alex was discovered by Wren. Wren is kind of the reason why Alex kind of became AD, I guess you could say, because he found her and kind of introduced her to everything that she didn't have in her past and all that. And I love that Wren plays a huge part in this, because I'm a Wren theorist. I've always wanted him to be AD, I've always wanted him to be A. He is just my favourite character. I think it's annoying because when CeCe got announced, everybody hated Wren before the Charles reveal, right? And it's like, no, he can't be Charles, he can't do this, that, the other. And as soon as CeCe got revealed, everybody wanted Wren to be Charles, and I'm like, because he's a good person to be A, that's why. I was really hoping he'd be, I didn't really think he was going to be AD. I would want him to be, but I didn't think he was going to be. But I'm really glad he plays a lot in the mystery, so that's one of the best things about it. So I'm just going to hold this up because I feel like I keep going off track. So Alex, the accent, didn't like it very much, thought it was a pretty, like, alright governor kind of style, and I hated that. But you can't fault Troy's acting because her acting was amazing. She pulled this role off so well. I always knew that she would because she she's just such a good actress, and she was actually a villain. Like, Alex was a villain. She was so evil. She didn't make you feel bad like CeCe did. CeCe really tried to make you feel for her past, but Alex just didn't really care. She just, I'm gonna kill people and turn them into a stone. Oh, we'll get back to that in a minute. But yeah, like, she was just pure good villain. She's what you wanted an A to be. And I'm just upset that she was only AD since Charlotte died. And I'm like, they could have done so much more with that. She could have been Black Widow instead of Sarah Harvey, just didn't need to reveal her right away. She could have been working with CeCe since season 3 or 4, but I just don't like the way they did it, man. Like, that's what was most upsetting, is that it kept getting said that this A was around since season 1 by all different cast members, but she wasn't. She wasn't. I mean, technically she was. She was alive, but she was nothing to do with the review, like nothing to do with being A, nothing to do with any of it until sort of Charlotte died. And it's just like, it was so hyped up to be something that it wasn't, and I'm like, why? It feels like a pure waste of time. I hate it. I love the villain, I love Alex Drake as a villain, I think she's a great A, but they could have did so much more with it and spaced it out and spent less time showing romance and random sex scenes and just showing the backstory that we were due. We deserved that and we didn't get enough of it. So that's one thing I'm really upset about. I'm going to insert the clip here where I see Alex be revealed, just so you can see that.
We didn't think you'd wake up so soon, Spencer. Very. Sweet dreams.
Is twins are actually ED? Holy shit! Is that actually happening? Oh, I'm actually shaking.
Took a liking to Arya, which was interesting because clearly when Arya took her into her dark side, AD did kind of like her for that, so you could see that she did genuinely want to be friends with Arya, which is weird but it was creepy. It was like, I think you and I are going to be the closest and all that. It was really creepy and I loved it, and it was just really great acting. And obviously CeCe left her with all her money as well, so that's how she managed to fund everything that she did, like the game and the crazy dollhouse thing that she made, where she kept Ezra and Spencer in. So that makes a lot more sense where she got her money from. Wren even says to her, said, you have Charlotte's money, what more do you want, kind of thing. So that's what confirmed it for us. The twin clues before we found out who AD was just so obvious, and this is the thing, right, a lot of people saying it was too obvious, but do you know, this whole last 10 episodes or the whole season 7, they did keep telling us that we will work out who AD is by the finale, and we did. It was Spencer's twin. A lot of people did work it out, and I'm not bitter about that because we were told we were going to work it out. So we did, and I'm fine with that. But I am just gutted that it's not someone that we knew from the season 1 or the other seasons. It was just Alex Drake's this random new character we've never met. You want it to be someone that you just know and you feel devastated that they have betrayed everybody. Like, I've got my list of people who I think should have been AD. I'm going to go over that once I've talked through everything else. But yeah, I think it's just, I've got such mixed feelings about this episode and the reveal, and it's really, I just don't know, I'm not 100% sure how I feel right now, and I just want to vent about it. So yeah, it's a complicated one. We had lots of English clues throughout the seasons that made it look like it was Wren, which is making me think that it was actually a clue towards Alex, because even in season 4 we had Veronica say to Spencer, we didn't know if it was you or your evil twin, which is the same season where they lined up Mary Drake, so they must have known what they were doing then. But at the same time I'm like, why wait so long to introduce Alex when you could have done it earlier and just didn't tell us it was Spencer's twin? But I don't know, I guess it's just the way it worked out when they got renewed for 2 seasons. I don't think this was ever their plan to have CeCe, and it wasn't. Marlene King said they never knew CeCe was going to be A until about 5 episodes into season 3, and when they got renewed for 2 seasons they had to make something up, so they made up Charlotte's backstory. So I think that Spencer's twin was going to be Endgame in season 5, but it just didn't work out that way. So this is what I'm assuming. So yeah, it's a lot to take in, a lot to process. I do think the twin reveal was a very safe, quick cop-out option for the writers. It was just really easy to just put it out there and that was it. It felt like it was a mix between CeCe's story and Mary Drake's story, and it just feels like it was just, it's just been there, done that twice. As much as I think the villain, I think Alex is a great villain because Troy played her in such a great way, but when you think logically of how she came about and all that, it's kind of like, right, well, we've already seen all this. I just wish it was someone that we didn't expect and we thought was proper betraying everybody. Again, I'll go over who my top 5 suspects are and why that comes into it too. But another thing is, well, connection with Wren, right? Wren is my favourite character. I'm going to talk about him now. So we find out Wren is actually the baby daddy of Emily and Alison's baby girls, their twin girls. So when Ellie was impregnated, Wren was still alive. We also found out that Wren is dead. Completely ripped my heart into pieces, still not over it, really upset about it, genuinely. And what I loved is when Wren met Alex in the random bar in London, he thought it was Spencer, obviously it wasn't, and he ordered a drink and it was a vodka, is it a vodka soda? Yeah, sort of rotten vodka soda, which if you remember in the first season, Wren's drink is a vodka soda. I don't know where the whiskey comes into it, because apparently AD or just A in general loves whiskey, but it's never really been referenced like that they like to drink whiskey. I don't know, it's a strange one. But I just loved that he ordered a vodka soda because it was just like a really nice little Easter egg. And he had a vodka soda at the airport when he was with Alex as well, which is one of the main scenes that we all speculated was twins are. I hate just the bit where Alex says that she made Wren into a necklace because the diamonds last forever. Oh, broke my heart. Why didn't we see him get killed? I'm kind of glad I didn't, but at the same time I wish I did, just for closure. But oh my god, it absolutely ripped my heart into pieces knowing that Wren died, because I'm such a big Wren theorist. It just ripped my heart into pieces. I'm like, why? Why? But again, that's what makes a great villain. Her just being like that, like, I made him into a necklace, is like, oh my god, that is absolutely horrific. But that's what you want in a villain. That's why I like Alex. Just don't like how she's came about, how they've done it, but I think she's a great villain again. Genuinely felt sorry for him during the bit where Alex made him shoot her. He didn't want to do it. Julian's acting was amazing in that. Troy and him are just such great actors. It was just so well done, and it actually made me feel emotions, real emotions. So good. So you see, there is things I absolutely love about it, but there's things I hate too. So it's a very mixed feeling about this. I'm going to show the clips here of finding out Wren was part of it and finding out he's dead. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to insert them here now as well and then move on.
When she shouted boots, I need English. I don't know.
You missed breakfast, but Mum's planning a special lunch.
She's English, that's how she knows Wren?
I don't even know what question to ask first. Who are you? Oh my god. Really? How hard did Mona hit you?
Oh my god. It's gonna be Wren, isn't it?
So?
It's Wren!
Sorry? You have me confused with something. But then there's ashes into an eternity's time.
No!
These diamonds last forever.
Oh, they killed Wren.
Sorry. I've got to go get ready.
Killed Wren.
Hey.
They
I'm
killed
planning on
Wren.
wearing your hair for the wedding.
No. No. No, I'm mad now. No, I don't like that. I do not accept.
One of my favourite parts was the Pretty Little Liars mums all being drunk again. Them being drunk is one of the best things about this show. I did think it was funny that we didn't find out how they got out of the basement. I think that's something that's kind of funny to keep as a running gag, to leave the show and never find out. I think that is quite a good thing to leave. Mona, let's talk about Mona. Right, the snow globe scene at the start was Mona looking into the snow globe and kind of imagining what she's seeing. And it was just it was really stupid, because the last moment you'll ever see of Lucas is him tap dancing in this imagination of Mona's. And Keegan actually said, who plays Toby, actually said, it'd be interesting to see like if one of the girls was looking into a snow globe and they were imagining it the whole time, and that actually happened at the start. And I'm like, please God, don't let that happen. It's not her imagination. That would just be such a cop out. And what else have we got here? I think she would have been a good AD overall in the end, but I'm kind of glad she wasn't. Mona's boyfriend was actually the police officer who arrested Alex and Mary at the end, so that Mona could take them to Paris and have them in her own dollhouse. That is a perfect ending for Mona, as much as I think it's a bit daft. It's the perfect ending for Mona's character, and she still got to have control over the game. And I'm happy that she had a happy ending the way she would want it. So Mona's my favourite character, I just love her so much. I think she deserved better a lot of the time, but I'm so glad she got the ending that she wanted. I like that she was helping the girls, but she was also kind of helping herself win the game back. Hence her taking Mary and Alex, taking them two away. I thought that was good, and I always liked that she was genuinely trying to help the Lyre for this whole half of the season, but obviously the Lyres never trust her, even though Mona has done absolutely everything for them. It's so frustrating, they're so dumb all the time. Mona's just the best, I just love her. And we do see Mona drop the snow globe. She did say that Wren turned up to kill her at Welby. And do you know how bitter I am that we didn't get to see Wren in a black hoodie? We got to see Melissa, it was actually just a mask, but we didn't get to see Wren in a black hoodie who turned up to kill her. Why didn't we get to see that? That's so annoying. Like, oh, I would have loved to have seen that. I would love to have seen that moment where him saying, I'm going to kill you or whatever to Mona. Like, oh my god, they missed a huge opportunity there. Oh, so frustrating. And then going back to Melissa, obviously Melissa was a red herring at the start, and we got to see her in a black hoodie, but it was actually just a mask, a Scooby-Doo mask again. I was really gutted. Melissa was one of my top favourite suspects, and I'm quite gutted it wasn't her. I was really excited about it. Jenna's nose, her sense of smell, and the horse were the two smartest characters in the end, finding out who Alex Drake was. Really? Really? And Toby coming in with the book going, it wasn't Spencer because this ain't her book. I'm like, right, okay, whatever. Like, it's just, oh, it's too easy. That was too easy for them to find out who Alex Drake was. I think they should have found out in a different way, but it's what it is, isn't it? Well, Ezra was kidnapped by Alex as well to ruin the wedding, I think. I'm going to assume that's why she kidnapped Ezra. So when Spencer and Ezra escaped from their little cells, they went through this little house area. It looked a lot, you know, this whole scene was a lot like Scream 3 to me, and the secret siblings in Scream 3 as well, so it's very similar to that film. I felt like when they caught her at the end, it was kind of like the Scooby-Doo moment, and it was kind of a little bit cringy. I loved is Toby holding up the gun and them saying, no, I'm Spencer, no, I'm Spencer. That was a good scene, but I felt like when Mona's boyfriend came in as the police officer arresting Alex, it was such a Scooby-Doo moment. It's like, I could have gotten away with it, it wasn't for you kids. Like, that's what it felt like. I was kind of like, right, well that's the end. They've got AD, this huge villain that was hyped up, that's it. In this wee moment it's all gone. And I'm like, it's just such a cringy, dumb way to have the girls face AD. It could have been done in such a creepier way, and because it was hyped up that AD was going to be this creepy, horrible villain, and she was, but I genuinely thought the reveal of her, to the girls at least anyway as well, and them figuring out who it was going to be a lot better and a lot different, and it just felt too easy for them, and I just didn't like it. And I don't want to talk about this, the full circle moment, but I'm going to talk about it because it's so dumb. So this is something that I worked out. The girls that, like Addison's wee group, that are supposed to be Alison and the girls anyway, if you remember the Christmas episode in season 5, there's a group of girls in the church that where Caleb and Hannah are working, and there's a wee really mean girl that's been horrible to Caleb, keeps calling him Dum Dum. That's Addison and her group of friends. And the reason why I've worked this out is because there's a little girl called Claire who's deaf, and Hannah says to Addison, the little Addison in the Christmas episode, you mess with Claire, you deal with me. And in this episode, the finale, you hear Emily shout over to Claire, and you see Claire has got a hearing aid in her ear, so you work out that that's actually the little girl from the Christmas episode, and these are the girls growing up from the church scene. And that was kind of like a nice little touch. And we also found out that Maya's cousin started at Rosewood as well, and Emily says that she knew her cousin and all that, and she shouldn't be hanging around with Addison because Maya was a nice person and stuff. And yeah, that was kind of a nice full circle moment. But the very end where they did the repeat of Addison going missing and doing everything line for line what was in the pilot, that was awful. I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen and end the finale with Mona's dollhouse, because that's the way it should have ended. That little full circle moment that they made up shouldn't have been there, should not have happened. It was kind of cringy as well. It wasn't delivered the way that obviously it was delivered in the first episode. It was delivered perfectly in there. Just felt like a shot for shot remake that was just crap, so didn't like that. Hated the ending. Yeah, so I think that's me talked about everything now so far. So overall, I'm giving the episode 5 out of 10 because I liked a lot of it. As I've said, I loved that Alex was a villain. She was such a great villain. So well done. The acting was amazing between her and Julian. Just perfect. But I don't like how they've done her backstory. They could have done so much more. It felt rushed, it felt like a cop-out, too easy. There's multiple plot holes, so many plot holes. I'm going to get into that in a minute with my list of questions still unanswered. So many plot holes. How can there be so many plot holes? It's so annoying. Yeah, I just... Mary Drake as well, like, is she evil, is she not? Couldn't tell. Bit frustrating. Feel like she's evil and has been all this whole time, but I don't know, I can't tell. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for me for this episode. If anyone ever asks me if they should watch Pretty Liars, I'm going to tell them to just watch up to season 5 and quit after that. Actually, maybe watch up to the CeCe reveal and then quit after that, because that you can just end the show on that. Just forget everything else. That's pretty much a bonus anyway. So yeah, let's move on to my top 5 suspects that I actually had for AD. My number 1 suspect was Melissa, would have loved that. Number 2 was Ezra. I think that would have been pretty decent. He seems pretty evil to me. He was really, really sketchy a lot of the time. Number 3 was Wren. As much as I'm a Wren theorist, I didn't really believe that he was going to be AD because everyone wanted him to be Charles, and the Order revealed that he was going to be a huge part of the plot anyway, and it didn't seem like he was going to be AD at the end as much as I wanted it. So he was my 3rd one anyway. 4th was Mona, because I felt like Mona, it would have worked fine with Mona actually, her ending everything, because she started everything. That would have been a full circle moment. I would have liked that. As much as it's predictable and a wee bit kind of like we've already had her as A, I think it still would have made sense. And number 5 was Twinser, or Alex Drake as we'll say now. Just because it was really popular and the clues were there, I just thought she could be one of my suspects too. I also loved the idea of, because I read theories about this, I loved the thought of Ezra and Wren being an evil duo, because in that airport scene it totally seemed like they knew each other and it was really awkward. And I would have loved to see Melissa and Wren as an evil duo as well. Just because again I'm a Wren theorist, I would have loved to see Wren be evil. He wasn't, I think Julian could play a really good villain. He did in Sorority Row. He pretty much was A in that in a way, but I would have loved to have seen him be a villain, because I think he's got potential, and he's a villain in Hand of God as well, so I think he would have been amazing as A, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, so they're my top suspects that I did have. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've talked centuries, but I'm not finished yet either. So that was my review of the episodes. Overall, I'm gutted that it wasn't what I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. We just need to take it for what it is now. I don't think I'll be watching the show for a very, very, very long time. I think I'm done for a while now. I'm pretty kind of heartbroken that it's turned out the way it has. So yes. Okay, so I'm going to go through the list of unanswered questions that I still have personally from this TV show. I just feel like nothing's been answered, no closure on anything, any past things that have been said. So many plot holes, and these questions come into the plot holes. So, right, I'm going to go through it as quick as I can. Bethany freaking Young. What was the point in her? Why did we not see her face? Why did she call Jessica Aunt Jessie? Like, what was the point in her character if we never got to see her? I don't get it. Everyone, I know that there's different like crew members that were saying like, oh, she's old news and all that, and I'm like, no, she's not old news. She was a huge part. We never saw her face, like, or her teenage face. We saw her as a child, but that's not Bethany. That's just, oh, I can't move on. I cannot move on from the Bethany Young thing. That was too big of a thing to just dismiss. I just hate it. That's the biggest plot hole in this show. We never got to see her face. We don't know anything about her anymore. I just hate it. Black Widow was supposed to be Endgame. Does that mean that Mary is Black Widow or Alex Drake is Black Widow? Doesn't make any sense. Wren's shadiness. Wren was so incredibly shady, especially in episode 10 of season 4. We never found anything out about that. Oh, why? Just, he was so he was so shady and nothing was ever said. Like, did he work with CeCe? Did he not? Who knows? Like, why was that not explained? He was made to seem like nice, I guess, with the Alex Drake storyline, but with his shadiness in the past season 3 and season 4, he didn't seem like he was a nice guy. He seemed like he was a villain or he was evil. Like, that wasn't explained. Why did multiple cast members and crew members say that you could go back to season 1 and see all the clues for AD when they said AD was only been around since Charlotte died? Why get our hopes up? Why say that? I know it was just to hype us up probably, but why say that in the first place? That's just, I hate that. Eddie Lamb. What happened to Eddie Lamb? Why did he hate Wren? Where did he go? Did he die? Is he in the barrel? What happened to him? Sarah Harvey only helped for money apparently. Is that true? I'm genuinely confused about Sarah Harvey's motive. Like, I don't get it. She always wanted to keep Emily safe, she said, but apparently she was in it for money. I don't know. I'm really confused by her in general. I didn't like Sarah Harvey at all anyway as a character, but I don't understand why we needed her in the first place. So the girls were tortured by CeCe because they were happy Alison was gone. So that is the motive still. They didn't change that motive. It should have been changed because that makes no sense. And a lot of people theorised that they had a lot to do with that night when Alison went missing. Like maybe they killed Bethany or something like that. I still feel like they could have did so much more with that. Like the girls probably could have had way more input in why A was torturing them, but they were just these girls who were victimised. That was it, and it just didn't seem, for what they went through, like it just didn't seem right, and it just seemed weird. Like, why would CeCe spend so much time torturing girls all the time just for the sake of it? Like, because she wanted to? Like, that's just fucked up. What was the full circle moment? Like, there was supposed to be a full circle moment, not to do with like the continuation of Alison's story through Addison and all that. There was supposed to be a full circle moment that was to do with the liars, and I don't understand what it was. I might have missed it, but what was that? I have no clue. Who did Jason see that night? Was it Bethany? Was it CeCe? Who did he see? Because CeCe said that he didn't see her. He must have saw Bethany. But that was never, nothing else was ever said about that. So did he see Bethany? We never saw her face. So who did we see? I don't understand. Who did he see? I don't get it. The NAT club. What? Why was there no closure on that? It was kind of just brushed under the rug. I know some cast members and crew members are saying it was old news, and I'm like, it's not old news because there was never any explanation for it. There was just nothing to kind of give the fans who had wondered about this secret club any sort of like revelation about it. There just wasn't. Like Melissa wanted those videos. We don't know why she wanted them. Plus Ian said it could bring everybody down. What was on those tapes? Did he have tapes of Mary? Did he have tapes of maybe like CeCe or something like that on it? What was on the tapes? What had NET had to do with it? I genuinely don't understand. I wish there was closure on it. Like, we were even shown the NET video of Ali when she was with Ian saying we don't have much time on the board game in the episode before this, and that made me think we were going to get something to do with NET Club, but we didn't, and it's just another unsolved mystery that we'll never know the answer to. So I'm just so frustrated about that one. Why did Ezra have like this secret creepy lair for a book? This is why I think he would have made a great A, and maybe he could have been A if they ended in season 5. Maybe working with Alex Drake, who knows. But why did he have this big crazy lair just for a book? It's so weird. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what was the point in all that? And why was it weird when Ezra and Wren met at the airport? It seemed like they proper knew each other. Like, it was so awkward and weird. Like, I just don't get it. And what was the deal with Melissa's suitcase handle? That was supposed to be the weapon that got used on CeCe, but nothing was ever said, and she was sketchy about it too, because she pretended there was something wrong with the traffic or something like that, and there wasn't. Oh, it's probably just to make her look guilty. I know that's probably what the answer is going to be to that, but still, like, what was the deal? Like, why make her look guilty for nothing? I just hate it. Why? I hate this show so much. What were the medical records that Garrett knew about in season 3? Like, he said to Spencer, medical records don't lie. What did he know? What was that about? I don't think it was about Melissa being, like, falsely pregnant. Nah, I feel like it may be because he knew about Spencer being adopted, or maybe knew about Alex Drake too, but that was never confirmed. It was never said, anything else was ever said about it. Nothing was ever else said about that, like what medical records he knew about. It's so frustrating. I wish we knew. I wish we got told. Ugh. Who got Ali pregnant in Cape May when she had that kind of pregnancy scare? Who was it? She said if he finds out, he'll kill her. Was it Weldon? Is that why she had someone pull a gun out on her before? I don't know. Like, who was it? It never got said. It's so frustrating. Who were Mona and Sydney and Jenna meeting in the woods when they were sitting on that little, like, bench? Was it Melissa? Who were they meeting? Doesn't make any sense again. That was brushed under the rug. Jenna was scared of CeCe even though she became friends with CeCe and worked with her. I'm confused about that too. And the last question that I can think of is who turned CeCe into the police for killing Weldon? We don't know who did that, unless CeCe turned herself in, which is weird because she ended up on the run. Who did it? I'm so confused by it. I also just had this epiphany that why didn't Alex Drake kidnap Peter Hastings instead of Ezra? Like, they could have made it so creepy. Like, they could have made, like, Alex, Mary, Spencer and Peter, like, live in their own little dollhouse because she wanted to have her perfect family and her real family and all that kind of thing. That would have been so good. That would have been so interesting. Why didn't they do that? Oh, I don't know if it's because Peter Hastings wasn't actually in the finale, but oh my god, they could have did that so well. So I'm gonna end the video. Yeah, this episode didn't even feel like it had anything to do with the last 7 seasons. It just felt like I know they wanted to make it like a movie. It did feel like a movie. It felt like its own thing and nothing to do with the TV show at all. So yeah, so many plot holes, so many unanswered questions, but I guess we just have to take this for what it is and just come to terms with the fact that AD is not someone who has been around for a long time like they made it out to be. We all thought that it was going to be someone that had been controlling this from the beginning. It wasn't. So I guess we just have to deal with that. Before I go, there was one theory that I absolutely loved, so I'm going to try to find it, that AD was controlling the entire A game, and like CeCe and Mona and all that were pawns in the game and they were being dared to do their own thing in their own game, and that was such a good theory. I wish it came true. You know, I'm going to live this show through different theories because theories are amazing. The people who write the theories are just the best and they're so smart that they come up with. The fans who write these are just amazing. I love reading them. Maybe that's why I'm disappointed as well, because I read all these theories that were so smart and so well put together. Clearly the writers couldn't do that themselves. But yeah, it's over, it's done with. Goodbye Pretty Little Liars. I don't think I'm going to miss you. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy it, I'm glad you did enjoy it and it was everything you wanted, but for people who like me didn't enjoy it, we can get through it together. Just read the theories like I do and just pretend all that happened instead. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!